Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Do You Recall podcast, the podcast that says the shows back in the day got you through your day. And on today's podcast, I am so excited. I'm excited for every podcast. I know I say it all the time, but I truly am excited when I do this show because it takes me back to my childhood memories. And today, I'm taking you back to the golden age, in my opinion, of TV, right? I'm taking you back to the 90s, late 80s, 90s, 2000. Okay, for my 90s babies, you should know where I'm going with this. Okay, the one thing that you look forward to at the end of your week, getting out of school and sitting down in front of that television set, you remember the TGIF lineup. Come on now, do you recall the TGIF lineup stood for thank goodness it's Friday. But for them who made the show on ABC, it really meant for them, thank goodness it's funny. And it was. This is back at, in my opinion, the golden age of television. Back when you had actually family shows. One of the producers was a young guy on ABC, and he said, I want to get back to like when we used to sit down at Sunday dinner and watch Disney's movies growing up. And he said, I got it. Friday nights is going to be the new highlight night. Like, you stayed inside the house. You didn't go out to the club. You didn't go out to play. You said, look, dude, let me get through these damn shows and I'll talk to you later. And you had to watch the Friday night lineup because it had some of the best shows, in my opinion, in TV today, hands down. We can argue late 80s, we can argue, 80s, 70s shows, and yeah, they have some great shows. But I'm telling you right now, everybody damn near remembers, okay, the TGIF Friday lineup, right? And the four biggest shows on the TGIF Friday lineup was, first of all, Full House. Come on now. Do you remember Full House? You guys got to remember Full House. They actually currently, right now on Netflix, have a reboot called Fuller House. It's not that bad, but hey, it's not back to the original form of Full House, but it's still a pretty decent show. And then you had the show Just the 10 of Us. Well, that's a throwback by itself. I mean, just the 10 of Us. Some of y'all are like, what the fuck is that show? Yeah, Just the 10 of Us. And then you had Perfect Strangers, okay? Do you guys remember Perfect Strangers? Like these quirky cousins. They work in like the Chicago Tribune. They work at a newspaper. And it was just a funny show. It was a very hilarious type of show. And lastly, but certainly not least, one of my all-time favorite shows ever in life was Family Matters. Come on now. Family Matters? Black people, how important was Family Matters to you growing up? I can't believe how many life lessons I learned just by watching Family Matters. And matter of fact, I actually wanted to name my first child Stefan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, that's a unique name. As he was cool, he was suave, he was debonair, he was charming. I'm like, that's how my son's gonna be. I'm naming him Stefan, so the girls can call him Stefan. I'm just kidding, babe. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna name our kids. If we do have some, we're not gonna name Stefan. I do like the name though. I like the name. I think it's a good name. But you learn so many different things, from racism to police brutality. Police abuse, to sexism, to how to deal with violence, how to deal with different family issues on Family Matters. It was perfectly titled. And here's one thing that you probably don't remember. Do you recall how Family Matters actually really got started? Now, for some of you guys who are a fan of Family Matters, then you guys should know this. But if you don't, do you recall the third season of the show Perfect Strangers? Now, Perfect Strangers had a person in the show that this is why we have Family Matters, and that was Harriet Winslow. That's right. Harriet Winslow, actually in the third season of Perfect Strangers, was the elevator operator for that newspaper I talked about earlier. That's right. And she got so much love, they said, we need to make another show. So basically, this was a piggyback off of Perfect Strangers. And now we just have the start, in my mind, of a TV universe. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this through the course of the show. But we get into this TV universe now. Now, Harriet comes and she has a whole family now, and it's all still based in Chicago. And that's how we pretty much got started with Family Matters. And Family Matters just took off a whole new light, and it totally went a season past Perfect Stranger, beating it on all the ratings. But there were so many different shows on the TGIF lineup, or just the TGIF, like the top 10 shows in my mind back then. Obviously, like I said, we have Full House, Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Just the 10 of Us, and then we had Step by Step. Oh, come on now. Step by Step, Step by Step, Day by Day, you know, with the roller coaster that everybody thought was Six Flags, but really wasn't Six Flags. It was great, though. But then we had Boy Meets World. Oh, my God. That will be on another podcast. I'm dedicating a whole podcast to just Boy Meets World. That was my second favorite show growing up. I learned so much about relationships from Boy Meets World. That's going to be a whole podcast by itself. Be ready for the Boy Meets World podcast coming to you sometime soon. I got to do that one. And then you had Dinosaurs, which was short-lived. All right, now that's going to be another Do You Recall the show Dinosaurs? It had puppeteers. It had people in bodysuits. It was a great show, but fucking expensive. And that's pretty much the downfall to the show, because it was so expensive because of all the animatronics and the puppeteering and all that stuff. But it was a great show. That's how you had the baby, not the mama. I'm the baby, gotta love me. You know, you guys don't recall that? You guys should know that. I don't know why I'm not wearing that shirt, but I have the shirt with the I think it's Earl, and has, you know, the baby on top of him and doing the whole like gotta love me kind of deal. We might talk about that on another podcast, because Dinosaurs was one of those shows you probably don't remember, because it was only like I think 2 or 3 seasons, and you know, but it was a phenomenal. And then we had a lot of girls' favorite show, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Come on now. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. This was a show strictly for the ladies, I thought. I'm not going to lie to you. And then following after that, towards the tail end, we had the show Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Do you recall the show Hanging with Mr. Cooper? Come on now. Now, all these shows were so freaking great, but the first 4 that I named really started the whole TGIF. So it gave it to a great memories growing up. Now, there was a lot of things that I mentioned today or earlier in the there was a lot of things that I said, but one thing that really stood out to me during this whole entire lineup was one person, and that was Stephen Urkel. Steve Urkel was the best character in the TGIF Friday lineup, or just the most recognizable. And the funny fact about that is he was only supposed to be in one episode of Family Matters. He was written in one episode, and he came in mid first season, but people loved him. We fell in love with Steve Urkel, the suspender wearing, then I do it guy. We fell in love with him. I mean, this dude has merchandise for days. Do you recall the Steve Urkel doll? Do you recall that? Does anybody even still have a Steve Urkel doll? You should. If you do, you got some money. That's damn near a few $100s right there, how much that thing is worth. I think I've only seen it once in my life at the store, Frankenstein's, right? And then do you remember the Steve Urkel lunch pail? There was a Stephen Urkel lunch pail. If you get on a lunch pail, your ass is famous and you made it. Back in the day, you get a lunch pail with that little thermos inside of it. Oh, you made it, man. That's right there is worth some money. But more importantly, with Stephen Urkel, since he was such an iconic character, and since everybody loved him, and ABC was just like, oh my God, let's fill the shows with more of Steve Urkel-esque type things. So we had, which I'm feeling is the start of a TV universe. And we had cameos of Stephen Urkel on at least 2 of the ABC shows. One of them was the show Fuller House. Do you recall when Steve Urkel came on Fuller House? It was the episode where I think it was called Stephanie Was Framed. And basically, Stephanie had glasses on. She was so like, oh my God, people are going to make fun of me because I'm wearing glasses and all this stuff. And then in comes her friend's cousin, who happened to be Steve Urkel, comes on Full House. He has a whole little weird thing with Jesse and how they're walking back and forth and Jesse trying to teach him how to walk cool. It's a cool little episode. But it was a moment where he taught the girl why it's important to wear glasses and that don't feel bad because people make fun of you because they don't understand. And it was a great moment for people who wear glasses. I think I even heard on the news that I think it was Channel 7. I can't remember. Excuse me if I'm getting it wrong. But it was a newswoman and her daughter was scared to go to school because she had to wear glasses and that she would get made fun of. And then for that, the mom went on air and started wearing her glasses. She said, I'm going to wear my glasses every day at work so my daughter knows it's okay. It looks great. It's okay to be different. You know what I mean? It's okay to have to wear glasses. And with that started a whole little movement. People were commenting on her stuff saying like, hey, this is great. And they start wearing their glasses. And then all the people that worked on her television, on the news station start wearing their glasses in support. So that lets you know right there how much that really meant. So in that Steve Urkel moment when he's teaching Stephanie about the glasses, I didn't even wear glasses, but I felt the moment. It was a great moment. I felt it. And I really did enjoy the fact that, they didn't change his name. They didn't change who he was. And he was just Steve Urkel. And we had that crossover, which was great. But my favorite Steve Urkel crossover is in the show Step by Step. Now, first of all, quick second. Step by Step was a great show. A lot of people, I think it's underrated. Step by Step was a great show. A family that had like different kind of characters in it. It was a show that I know was predominantly white, but at the end of the day, you learned a lot from Step by Step. You did. And, the family dynamic was great. The father was great. Everybody was great in the show. But the episode that I remember most of all was the dance episode. The dance episode. And this leads me into my biggest do you recall moment tonight. Or today, I'm sorry. The biggest do you recall moment right now. Do you recall the Steve Urkel dance? Come on, y'all. Do you recall the Steve Urkel dance? Do the Urkel. Do the Urkel. Do it. Do it. Now, if you don't remember the Stephen Urkel dance, real quick, look at this clip. And I'm going to show you my poor attempt with one of my friend's kids doing the Steve Urkel dance. Check it out.
Bring up the music. It's time to do the Urkel.
I know, right? Listen, I know it was probably bad, but we tried, and I actually want to make that a challenge. I want to see everybody post their Steve Urkel dance. Let's break the damn internet, guys. We need another cool, old school classic dance. Everybody remembers the Carlton. Everybody does the Carlton. Everybody knows the Carlton, but do you recall the Steve Urkel dance? Come on now. The Steve Urkel dance was got to be so popular after he did it on Family Matters that he did it on Step by Step on the episode called The Dance. And when he takes, I think her name is Judy. No, it's not Judy. I'm thinking Family Matters. Judy, the one that went upstairs in one season, never came back down. Anyway, I can't remember the little girl's name, but I think the basic concept of that particular episode was the fact that she was pretty much a tomboy, and then the guy that she wanted to go to the dance with wouldn't ask her because she was so a tomboy, and so she got a little bit of confidence from Steve, and she went there dressed up, looking really nice, for a middle school girl. And, Steve Urkel comes there and they do the Steve Urkel dance. I mean, come on. It was epic. I mean, if I have the clip, look at the clip. If I don't have the clip, I'm sorry. You can look it on YouTube, the Steve Urkel dance, and I want to break the damn internet with that, because that was a great do you recall moment, because everybody remembers, Pee Wee Herman for some reason, like the Pee Wee Herman dance. It kind of looked like that for a second, and everybody remembers the Carlton. But we had the Steve Urkel dance, and that shit was iconic to me. I remember trying to do the Steve Urkel dance during the show. And then when it came on Step by Step, I'm like, oh my God, because Step by Step came on a little bit after, Family Matters. I'm over here trying to do the damn dance. And I'm just amazed by it. But yeah, man, that was one of the biggest do you recall moments that I can remember. And it was just a super, super surprise to me. And I freaking fucking loved it, man. It was amazing. It was amazing. Steve Urkel gave us our first little look into a TV universe, at least in my mind, back in the early 90s, late 80s. And it was amazing. And then we actually did have a cameo of Michelle when she's grown up. I think she's in kindergarten or first grade or wherever the case may be. And she actually cameos, her and Uncle Jesse cameo on Hanging with Mr. Cooper in the early, I think it's the first or second episode, when Mr. Cooper is actually learning how to teach, and he's taking over a class before he takes over the PE class. And Michelle's in there, and she's in there, I think, for about 2 episodes, I want to say. About 2 episodes or 1 episode. I can't remember, but she's in there. And, Uncle Jesse comes and drops her off at the school and all this good stuff. So we have another crossover right there. And I'm pretty sure other people after that have done crossovers. But to me, I feel like this was the start of TV crossovers, even though I'm pretty sure there was some back in the day in the early 70s. You guys are older than the people that watch the podcast and no, we had crossovers back in the 60s and 70s when this girl crossed over. Look, I'm dealing with 80s and 90s right now, and I'm telling everybody knows that shit was amazing. And you don't know if anybody recalls those crossovers between Steve Urkel and Michelle, but it was freaking amazing. But the biggest thing I said, do you recall that Steve Urkel dance? Steve Urkel dance. I tried it. I got it down for a second. I think it looked pretty damn good for a minute, but I'm probably going to put that on a TikTok or something like that, because I think that'd be fucking hilarious if we can get everybody to do the Steve Urkel dance. Jaleel White, man, if you're watching this, please come on the show. If you're watching this, man, I know you hate the whole Urkel thing. I get it, man. You've been doing it for so many years. It's it's over. You feel like you might have got typecast. I understand it, man. And at least Carlton gave us the Carlton on Dancing with the Stars. You could at least give us the fucking Urkel dance on Dancing with the Stars somehow. I know he's doing a foxtrot or something like that, but can you do it one time for the internet? Can you do it one time for the gram or one time for TikTok? Can you do the damn Steve Urkel dance one time for me, please? I'm begging you right now, man. Please let me get that one dance, Jaleel White. And we'll leave you alone. We'll leave you alone. I don't know why people think you dead all the time. Everybody wants to kill Jaleel White. Why are we killing Urkel? He's our childhood, all right? I know you're well and alive, Jaleel. I just need you to do this one time for me, the Steve Urkel dance. I'll do it with you, brother. Just let me know the place, the time, and I'll be there, okay? Well, once again, guys, this has been the Do You Recall podcast, the podcast that says the things back in the day got you through your day. I've been your host, CJ. I holler when I holler at you. I see you when I see you. Peace, love. I'm out.